for the House the revised estimates of 2022-23. Revised estimates for provincial expenditures have been proposed to be 1.76 trillion for the year 2024 as against the budget estimates of 1.713 trillion in financial year 2022-23. It includes current revenue, capital and development expenditure. Revised estimates for 2023 for current revenue expenditure have been pitched at rupees 1.297 trillion, representing 8% increase against budget estimates of 1.199 trillion. The increase is mainly due to additional expenditure incurred on raid and flood relief and rehabilitation activities. Revised estimates for the year 2022-23 for current capital expenditure have been proposed at rupees 62.13 billion, showing 8% increase over budget estimates of rupees 54.481 billion for the year 2022-23. The increase is due to worsening rupee-dollar parity from Pak rupee 186 to almost Pak rupees 300, raising the expenditure by rupees 7.6 billion towards repayment of loans. The estimates for investment activities have been revised to rupees 21.5 billion as compared to budget estimates of rupees 23.6 billion. So the revised development expenditure for 2022-23 stands at rupees 406.32 billion. This is the highest ever development expenditure that inshallah we are going to achieve this year. Prior to this, it was 2017-18 that we achieved the highest. Then I told you, कोई आ गया और 3-3.5 साल हमारे ऐसे गए, 1 साल में रिकवर करने में लगा. इस साल we are back on our feet despite floods, despite so many other challenges. We've had the highest ever development expenditure, and I'll talk about next year also. So the overall receipts, the federal transfers have increased from the federal transfers that we hope to get from the federal government by the end of the year are 1.08 trillion rupees against a budget of 1.055 trillion. Revised estimates for divisible pool component stands at 982.54 billion against budget estimate of 958.62, and for straight transfers at rupees 71.15 billion against budget of 70.82 billion. As I said, we expect to receive this budgeted amount by the end of the current financial year. As far as own resource revenues are concerned, we are going to pitch the revised estimates at rupees 358.29 billion against a budget estimate of 374.5 billion. Mr. Speaker, I'm glad to tell you that yet once again, the Sindh Revenue Board, inshallah, will meet its target of rupees 180 billion by the end of this year, and I'll tell you about our targets for next year. Non-tax revenues have been, the revised estimates for non-tax revenues have been proposed at 23.29 billion. The revised estimates for foreign project assistance have been proposed at rupees 147.82 billion, while federal PSDP has been estimated at rupees 14 billion. The budgetary support grant relating to education sector stands at 9.04 billion in the current financial year. So before I go to the numbers for the next year and give you some details of next year's budget, I want to present to the August House a vision for our vision for financial year 2023-24, a vision for an empowered and inclusive Sindh. Pakistan People's Party is a democratic and progressive party. It believes in ideology of inclusive governance. It envisions a progressive Sindh where institutions, policies and services are accessible, accountable and responsive to all members of the society. True reflection of this philosophy can be observed in budget estimates of 2023-24. Mr. Speaker, in order to get to a budget which is acceptable not only by this House but by the people of this province, a pre-budget assembly session was held under Rule 143 of the Rules of Procedure of the Provincial Assembly of Sindh. Let me remind all of you here that we are the only House, the only assembly who has rules for a pre-budget session. The other 3 provinces or the National Assembly does not have any such rule. So, sir, this